Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today very exciting presentation and some kind of like milestone for my website. Today's database, today's file will be number 50 on my platform. So very excited about this milestone, and hopefully more files will come, and I will have more contributors to my site as well. So guys, moving right away to the topic. So what we're gonna cover today is, I call it Sensational Rauzer variation for black. Now, it's not only YouTube title, but it's truly my impression, very honest, genuine impression about this variation. Now, in the beginning of the video, I would like to remind you guys, if you enjoy my work, please like, hit notification button, subscribe to my channel. You know how it works today in chess world. As soon as you get the new idea, you can implement this in your games before other people get to know this idea, maybe got to the file or the rumor spread or something, and you can score points. I mean, it happens a lot. I get a lot of feedback like this, people winning like online games or the board games and so on. So any comment appreciated, and let's move on. Guys, so we are talking about Sicilian, classical Sicilian, that it's been my weapon since 1995, when I was introduced to this Sicilian by my coach Mark Zetlin, and since then I played so many systems in this variation. I mean, I started this 4 nights classical Sicilian, but you know, the big advantage, and this is what I always tell my students, the big advantage of this Sicilian to compare with other Sicilians, you basically have maybe 2 challenging lines. I would say when I played, so without any doubts, in my opinion, bishop g5 is the most critical test. Now, there is a little bit of, in this position, bishop c4 as well as f3. And I don't think that dangerous, it's pretty easy. And that's it. You have full Sicilian. It's not like Nardorf, where you have to study and have to be ready for 10, 15 lines. And they're all challenging, they're all dangerous, right? So that's, I always felt the advantage of classical Sicilian. It's got really, really popular nowadays. So even in the main lines, black is doing not too bad, in my opinion. But obviously it's very complicated. Always the question was what to do with bishop g5. You know how many systems I tried here. I played bishop d7 sometimes. After bishop g5, I played queen b6. I tried for a while queen b6 here. Now, most of the time it was e6, and then after queen d2, I started with classical bishop e7, and then I switched to modern style a6, queenside castle, and it was like an amazing system, h6, that brought me amazing results before white came up with this idea, knight takes c6, bc6, bishop f4, d5, which is basically, in my opinion, some kind of like refutation. And had to change this, play bishop d7, instead of h6, play bishop d7. Nowadays, bishop e7 people play. It's all decent, very decent systems for black. A lot of top players have been playing already these lines. I think black is doing pretty well. Like I'm not familiar with any specific issues, but white always has a lot of ideas. White always has a lot of ideas. So what I'm going to present today, guys, this is amazing move g6. You know, I was aware of this move for many years, but I couldn't believe it's possible, guys. To be honest, I was aware that Daniel Dubov had a lot of games with good results. I'm not even sure he used like too much of the board. I think there are a couple of games, but mostly like rapid chess blitz. Now, and I was like very skeptical. It's hard to believe that this pawn structure can be good, you know, guys. But nowadays, it's a different situation. And to be honest, what inspired me, I discovered a few games by a very talented kid from USA, Andy Woodford. Couple of games, I'm like, if he's playing, so there is something to that, and not only one game. So I start checking, and to my great surprise, I realized that this line is really working. So it might be such a great news for Sicilian players, for those who play classical, or maybe you're considering to choose some system in Sicilian and you're like debating, like many of my students, should I play Nader, Sveshnikov, Taimanov? Here's another idea for you guys. Now, first of all, what happens here in this position? Now, I want to say that if white doesn't capture on f6, we get a favorable version of dragon with great position. Now, white can start bishop b5 and then capture on f6, so that will transpose. We get this pawn structure. But to give you one example, guys, in this position, let's say white just decides to play simple chess, bishop e2, bishop g7. By the way, some knight e4 idea potentially in there, like for instance, after castle, knight e4 is already working, and with a precise play, it leads like just to very safe endgame for black. So many players, I assume, would still castle here in this position for complicated game. So therefore, white usually retreats with the knight, knight b3, castle. So we got this dragon, bishop e2, short castle. I was always saying, if like somebody guaranteed me that the dragon, white players will castle short, I will play only dragon. So it's always harmless. All the challenging systems are with queenside castle. Many plans, a6, followed by b5. If white plays a4, we follow up with bishop e6. Great position for black, great Sicilian, very enjoyable play. So we talked about bishop e2. Finally, let's discuss bishop f6, ef6. So basically the idea, we have a very simple plan. And I think this system also might be very attractive for the players who adore dark square bishop on g7. Those who play Sicilian, those who play dragon, you know, those players usually, they're huge fans of bishop on g7. And guys, in this position, it's very simple. The plan is bishop g7, f5. Whenever it's available, as soon as possible. Sometimes in the price of pawn on d6, and still bishop pair gives us like enough compensation and very active play. So guys, let me give you a couple of lines. So for instance, I wanted to show you this, like bishop c4, very logical. Obviously, besides d6, we have also issue with d5 square, not a big deal. So let's say knight b5, just straight forward, attacking pawn, we sacrifice. Now he can take queen d6, he can take knight d6. Now queen d6, a6, queen d8, rook d8, let's say knight c7, rook b8, and we are just coming next move with a5. Wonderful compensation. Maybe it's a little bit hard to believe, but guys, you can check with engine. You will see that it's like, it opens up, bishop on g7, terrific. Worth a pawn, almost always. So this is one line. Let me give you, how about white, instead of queen d6, chooses knight d6, maintaining queens on the board. We play bishop e6, so no time for f5 yet, bishop e6. Now, let's say capture. Even here, guys, it's still excellent. Like, for instance, knight c4, we strike f5. Castle, queen h4. Now, great coordination, some attacking chances, rook d8 is coming. So here is one example for you guys. So this is one line. So we talked about bishop c4. Now, main line. Now, there are different moves. Bishop e2 is possible, queen d2 is possible, bishop d5. Main line, bishop d7. Now, one of the top choices here for white, and guys, some of you will be familiar with the game Anish Giri against Richard Rappaport, decisive game last round, Tata Steel, I think 2025, if I'm not mistaken, where Anish won the tournament. So that was a great achievement for him. And so this game continued bishop c4, bishop g7, knight takes c6. Now, again, let's have a look what happens if we lose the pawn. Castle, queen d6, we play f5. So this is one, I mean, looks like knight d6 is stronger, right, guys? Knight d6, we play queen e7, castle, knight e5 with tempo. So we need a couple of moves to prepare everything, right? Like rook d8. Sometimes we delay f5. We want f5 as soon as possible, but sometimes some preparation required. F5, fantastic position. Objectively maybe about equal, but much easier to play for black. So just to give you a little bit understanding what is happening. So bishop c4. So that was, you know, Anish obviously well prepared. Knight c6, bishop c6, castle, queen d3, also stops f5 for now. Now in this position, you know, again, optically it looks like so, right? But we have bishop pair, f5 isn't there, like it's still, like even with the pawn sacrifice, it might come at some point. Knight d5. So here, minor improvement of the game, bishop d7, just the move order. So we start preparing f5. Let's say c3. So we get f5 as promised. Let's say rook e1, rook e8, and bishop b3. So this position happened in the game, and minor improvement. I think Richard eventually got under pressure and lost. Rook c5, very nice move. Tension on d5. Now we want to take on e4 and maybe follow up with bishop c6 at some point. So it's you know, guys, what happens? The pawn structure looks a little bit maybe strange, but we are just having very active bishops, and it's not really that white cannot really improve his position. You know, that's but that's really a high level line for white, high level and pretty safe, I would say. But there is no advantage. There is no advantage if. You know, and you probably understand that Anish Giri, especially would play in the last round game where at the stake first place he will play the best possible line, in his opinion. So that was a real test for this line, guys. Shocking for me. I couldn't believe that one day will happen like that. I will recommend g6, but here it comes. Also, by the way, I wanted to mention one more fact. Last European Team Championship, last round, the game between Turkey and Greece, first board, talented kid Gurel against Theodoro, very strong theoretician. This line happened, black misplayed, lost, but the fact that black player Theodoro picked up this line in such an important game also says a lot. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. So now you have two ways. Either like you got the ideas, you can develop, you can do your own research, develop this variation, or you can download very detailed PGN file that I spent quite serious amount of time and enjoy it. So for you just need to head over to my website, Ask-Avrukh-Avrukh.com. You can find it in the description. And enjoy a very interesting line in Sicilian Rauzer. Thanks for watching, and hopefully to see you soon again.